After facing 3 bail denials and enduring harsh conditions at Brooklyn's MDC, Diddy's tensions erupted when he clashed with the judge in court, vowing to fight to the end. Reportedly paranoid, he's even refusing jail meals, fearing powerful associates may be plotting against him over alleged blackmail evidence. Let's explore what's really unfolding in the courtroom. Judge confronts Diddy and federal prosecutors as Diddy vows to fight to the end. A New York judge recently denied Sean Diddy's request to stop government leaks to the media while he faces jail time on misconduct and racketeering charges. Still, the judge imposed a similar gag order closely resembling what Combs' team had proposed. Diddy's attorneys requested a gag order on federal agents after the New York Post published a story detailing the musician's alleged freak-offs. The article included a quote from a federal law enforcement source involved in the case describing the events as SI stuff. On Friday, October 25th, Judge Ain Sub Manon reviewed the request from rapper Sean Diddy's legal team. While he didn't fully grant Combs' specific motion, Sub Mania ordered that federal agents, investigators, and Combs' team must adhere to rules prohibiting them from sharing grand jury details that could affect a fair trial. He noted remarks from agents involved in this case, if made, are improper, adding that no findings of misconduct have been made yet. Sub Manon emphasized that this measure aims to protect a fair trial and warned of appropriate action for any future violations. Earlier this month, Diddy's legal team filed a request for a hearing over allegations that Department of Homeland Security agents leaked 2016 footage, reportedly showing Diddy mistreating his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway. The hearing, still pending, seeks to prevent federal agents from sharing further case details with the media. Combs appeared in court most recently on Thursday, October 10th, marking his 3rd appearance since his arrest and his first before Judge Submania. Combs, who has pleaded not guilty, entered the courtroom with a few supportive family members present, wearing ankle shackles, a tan button-down shirt, and khaki pants from the jail. He smiled warmly at his family as he was escorted in by a U.S. Marshal, even pausing to wave to them seated in the second row. Wednesday, October 9th, Combs' lawyers accused the government of leaking hotel surveillance footage to CNN, showing him allegedly assaulting his former girlfriend. They stated they may request the widely circulated video be excluded from his trial. Prosecutors argue that the video is key evidence in their case, showing Combs' mid-attack on Cassie. CNN published the footage and Combs later apologized, calling his actions inexcusable. While the video's origin is unknown, Combs' legal team, led by Mark Aguilo and Tenny Gagos, filed on October 9th, accusing the Department of Homeland Security of leaking it. They suggest Homeland Security, which raided Combs' properties in March, may be responsible for the release in their filing. The defense team claimed the videotape was leaked to CNN for one reason: only to damage Combs' reputation and hinder his ability to defend himself. They pointed to federal rules prohibiting prosecutors and government agents from sharing grand jury materials and accused Homeland Security officials of several leaks, including anonymous quotes provided to the New York Post. The defense argued these leaks have likely created bias in both the grand jury and potential trial jury, requesting a hearing to investigate the government's involvement in these alleged leaks. The footage, filmed at an Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, shows Combs wearing only a towel, allegedly striking, kicking, and dragging Cassie as she tries to leave. While the criminal case does not directly name her, the details closely match Cassie's account. In November 2023, she filed a lawsuit accusing Combs of years of physical abuse. The suit, which concluded quickly, also referenced an incident. The Intercontinental, according to Cassie, Combs attempted to cover it up by paying $50 to erase the security footage. Fast forward to last month, when prosecutors highlighted Combs' lawyers' strong denial of Cassie's allegations as evidence of his willingness to conceal the truth. This was prior to Combs' public apology in May, after the ID hotel footage was released in court filings. The prosecution stated it was only when the video surveillance footage of the defendant's attack was leaked to the media months later that the defendant was forced to admit he had in fact carried out the disgusting attack. Prosecutors had already begun using the hotel footage to argue that Combs may have violated a significant federal law. They stated the video showed force beingist during what was referred to as a freak-off. According to the government, These events were described as highly orchestrated encounters, involved male escorts with Combs allegedly directing, observing, and sometimes filming the scenes. Here's what the government alleges happened in the leaked Cassie video. The footage reportedly shows Combs mistreating Ventura as she attempts to leave one. Of these events, prosecutors claimed there was at least one escort inside his hotel room while Ventura tried to escape, with the mistreatment occurring in the hallway outside during a court hearing last month. Prosecutor Emily A. Johnson revealed more details, stating the evidence shows the victim attempted to flee the hotel room where the defendant and an escort were without even putting on her shoes. She added the defendant then violently attacked her and tried to drag her back to the room. Mr. Combs' lawyers, however, have strongly countered the claims. They argue that, while the video may be distressing, it does not prove any trafficking activity. In court, lead defense attorney Mark Anafilo presented an alternative version of events, claiming that Miss Ventura discovered evidence of infidelity on Combs' phone while he was asleep. According to Anafilo, this led her to strike him with the phone and leave with some of his belongings. He further argued that this incident made Combs confront his struggles with addiction and anger, prompting him to seek treatment in rehab. At the hearing on Thursday, October 10th, Judge Aaron Subin confirmed that Combs' federal trial on misconduct charges is set for May 5, 2025, the same day as the 2025 Met Galas. For Diddy, his attorney stated that he plans to fight to the end in September. Mark Agnafilo, Diddy's lawyer, spoke to TMZ for their documentary The Downfall of Diddy. He stated that his client intends to go to court, take the stand, and testify, adding that Diddy is going to fight this to the end. Diddy's previous court battles have been mostly unfavorable, marked by significant setbacks, particularly in his attempts to secure bail. Diddy's ongoing court struggles and legal challenges. After Sean Diddy Combs was arrested on September 16, 2024, a 14-page federal indictment was released the next day, detailing serious allegations of misconduct, exploitation of women, and misuse of his business empire. The indictment suggests that Combs used his companies to promote and hide these activities, relying on his resources to protect himself from legal consequences. We will tell you all the horrible details of this indictment later in the video. Following Diddy's arrest, his attorneys petitioned for his release on bail, arguing in a letter to the court that he posed neither a flight risk nor a threat to the community. In stark contrast, the prosecutors asserted he was indeed a flight risk, citing his extensive resources, point out that he could flee even without a passport, private plane, or multiple residences. Their detention letter detailed the various assets Combs could potentially leverage. The defense pointed out that Combs traveled to New York to self-surrender when it became clear he would be formally charged. This was just one of the examples. They included to show how cooperative Combs had been throughout the investigation, emphasizing his trustworthiness and lack of flight risk. His attorney highlighted Combs' commitment to facing the situation, noting his voluntary trip to New York prior to the indictment. He has never run from a challenge, and he will not run from this one. He approaches challenges head-on, moving toward them with confidence in the assurance that justice is on his side. The lawyer stated for the next steps, Combs' defense proposed placing him under home detention with a $50 million bond secured by his Miami residence. However, prosecutors previously contended that this amount was plainly insufficient. On 17th of September, Sean Diddy Combs made his first court appearance. He walked in wearing a black t-shirt and some gray workout pants with a black stripe down the side. Looking a bit stunned as he stepped in, his hands were clasped behind his back. No cuffs in sight. Diddy came through a side door and took a seat between his attorneys. Behind him, 2 U.S. Marshals stood watch, and the courtroom was completely silent. Diddy pleaded not guilty to the charges against him, which included organized crime, exploitation, and conspiracy. He stood up for just a moment and clearly stated, "Not guilty," as reported by the CNN correspondent who was there. Just a heads up, there were no cameras allowed inside the courtroom, which is why we only have these sketches from the courtroom. According to the indictment issued by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, Diddy faces 3 charges: racketeering, conspiracy, misconduct, and transportation for purposes of engaging in prostitution. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson was advocating for Sean Diddy Combs to stay in custody while his case unfolds. This all went down in front of Judge Robin Tarnavsky. Emily Johnson argued for his continued detention, describing him as a serial abuser and a serial obstructor. Pretrial services also recommended that he remain in custody. Johnson pointed out that at least a dozen witnesses had observed Combs' violent behavior toward women, or the injuries those women had sustained at his hands. She also emphasized his access to weapons, which added a significant concern to the case. So with all this, Judge Robin Tarnowski denied in bail. So he's staying in custody while he faces charges for racketeering, conspiracy, and alleged misconduct-related offenses. Judge Robin Tarnowski voiced her concerns, noting that such crimes typically occur behind closed doors, making them difficult to monitor effectively even with pretrial services involved. So although Diddy's defense attorneys had proposed a hefty $50 million bond backed by his Miami property and suggested home detention as a compromise, the judge found no conditions that would fully reassure her of his commitment to appearing in court if he were released. Diddy's reaction was understated. He reportedly took a sip of water at the table before being escorted from the courtroom later outside the New York federal court on Tuesday, September 17th. Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo announced plans to appeal the decision to deny bail. Agnifilo expressed confidence, stating he's going to clear his name and we're going to stand by his side as he does. We believe in him wholeheartedly. He also reiterated his position, affirming his belief that Combs didn't do these things. The bail appeal was scheduled for the next day, Wednesday, the 18th of September, right in the same courtroom, but that time in front of a different judge, Andrew Lamar Carter Jr. But on the 18th of September, Judge Andrew L. Carter also ruled that Combs would stay in jail due to concerns he might interfere with witnesses or obstruct the case. Carter stated that the government had shown by clear and convincing evidence that no bail amount could ensure Combs wouldn't tamper with witnesses. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson highlighted Combs' extensive history of allegedly intimidating accusers and witnesses in misconduct cases. She referenced text messages from women claiming he had threatened to release videos of them involved in private adult performances he had allegedly orchestrated in court. Johnson reportedly read out text messages said to be between Combs and some of the victims while pushing against the idea of letting the label founder go. One of the texts allegedly from Combs read, "Call me. The cops are here. I got 6 kids. You please call. I'm surrounded," and was reportedly written right after a 2016 hotel incident where he was caught on camera mistreating ex-Cassie Ventura. "You going to abandon me all alone?" According to the prosecutor, these texts showed that Combs knew he'd crossed a line. Combs was also reportedly sent a message saying, "I have a black eye and a fat lip and you are sick to think it's okay what you've done." Johnson then read a text from another unidentified woman saying, "I'm not a rag doll, I'm someone's child." After Diddy's bail was denied for a second time, his attorney Mark Agnifilo acknowledged the unfavorable ruling, but confirmed their intent to appeal once again. Agnifilo expressed a strong preference to handle the case with Combs out of custody and outlined plans to pursue further legal measures to secure his release. He believes he's innocent. We believe he's innocent and we're going to fight this case with everything we have until we no longer need to. Ago stated. Then on October 8th, just 2 days before his next court date, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team went ahead and filed a third appeal for pretrial release. They took it up to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. They were pretty frustrated with the court's decision to deny him bail twice. Diddy's legal team pushed for his immediate release under suitable bail conditions, arguing that the evidence presented was insufficient to warrant his detention. They also highlighted several legal errors in the court's previous ruling. However, on October 10th, Judge Ain Supermanen denied bail once again, deciding that Diddy would remain at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn as he awaits trial. Now turning to the 14-page unsealed indictment mentioned earlier, it reveals disturbing details about events alleged to have occurred at Diddy's parties. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the cards for more interesting videos.